Night in the Woods is a single-player adventure game developed by Infinite Fall, originally released for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One in 2017, and just 1 year later has made its way to the Nintendo Hybrid. The Kickstarted project made quite a splash upon its initial release, earning a Metacritic score of 88%, as well as taking home multiple awards, including Best Independent Game at IGF. However, just because the title's champion amongst critics doesn't necessarily translate to the game being for you. So let's take a closer look at this coming-of-age tale and see if it's in fact worth the investment, or if one might just be better off watching any number of films tackling the same subject matter. The story follows 20-year-old feline May, who's just returned to her small hometown of Possum Springs after suddenly dropping out of college. Upon her return, May discovers that, somewhat like herself, her quiet hometown has fallen into a state of limbo. Cherished local businesses have been going under, families have been losing their homes, and on top of it all, people have been mysteriously disappearing, and oddly, no one seems to care. Luckily for May, her childhood crew of oddball friends have all remained stagnant, and spending time with them in their old stomping grounds is all she really seems to care about. Despite its adorable cast of characters and cartoonish aesthetic, this journey of self-discovery is not at all one children should take, and I would go as far to say that I was somewhat shocked in finding out the game was only rated teen after completing it. On the surface, the narrative is about growing up, however, the game is heavily steeped in many adult themes which thankfully never felt ham-fisted. Ranging from child abuse to poverty, anxiety, depression, sexuality, and even death, the many things the developers address in the game's 8 to 10 hour campaign is really impressive, and while at times clashing in tone, Night in the Woods effortlessly tackled its many taboo subjects with grace, which, frankly, caught me off guard. Each day beginning with May waking at her parents' house, but upon leaving is generally free to be carried out however the player sees fit, from exploring the town to talking to any number of unique characters, or even dabbling in the title's 2 mini-games in the form of playing the excellent but difficult dungeon crawler Demon Tower on May's laptop, or picking up her old bass to practice in the fashion of Guitar Hero. Each day often concluding with May having to choose any one of her 3 friends to hang out with, which would trigger a unique and well-crafted event. And while perhaps structurally repetitive, these moments too help tailor the narrative to how each player sees fit. The somewhat slow traversal of Possum Springs is balanced out with a light yet fine-tuned jumping mechanic reminiscent of Mario 64, granting May a slightly elevated verticality on her 3rd jump if timed perfectly. The game's beautiful 2D art style hides the many surfaces May can jump to well, making the many moments where she would find unexpected footing feel tremendously rewarding. As for problems I had with the title, it did suffer from a meandering second act as well as consistent loading screens when going in and out of the game's many areas. While loading is a necessary evil, it became a little bit more present than I would have liked due to the relative smallness of the town. Also, Night in the Woods looks great while playing in both handheld and docked modes, however, the lower 720p resolution of handheld mode offered a noticeably smoother experience. Alongside its distinct aesthetic, Possum Springs is further brought to life by its excellent environmental work. With that being said, the sound effects of May seem to have an ever so slight echo to them, and I'm unsure as to the intention of this design choice. Alex Hallowack and Scott Benson's wonderfully odd score marries bass-heavy punk riffs with a playful xylophone undercurrent that did a great job encoding the whole experience with a feeling of being in a dream. The handful of songs May can practice on her guitar are a mixed bag of influences, but were all catchy enough to want to master. And while being completely absent of any voice work, Night in the Woods is a bit of an anomaly in that its characters are some of the most memorable game personalities in recent memory. So overall, just like the game's appearance, Night in the Woods' sound design proved to add a personal and unique touch to the experience, which is both noticed and appreciated throughout. Infinite Fall's Night in the Woods is not a perfect game. In fact, one could even argue against it even being categorized as a game at all, but rather a highly polished interactive novel. The title's repetitive day-to-day structure might put some people to sleep, particularly in its second act, and the reveal of its central mystery is sure to leave others scratching their heads. But, by its conclusion, Night in the Woods had so much to say that it somewhat staggered me. After taking some time to reflect upon my visit to Possum Springs, one thing's been left abundantly clear. Anyone who takes the time to fill May's shoes is sure to find something deeply relatable while walking a mile in them. You can pick up Night in the Woods for $19.99 on the Nintendo eShop, and the title will take up 6.3 gigabytes of storage on your Switch. As always, thank you so much for watching the video, and if you'd like to see more like it, go ahead and click that subscribe button.